Well, hello my YouTube friend. It has been a while since my last outdoor video, and I really thought that this would be the appropriate place to showcase that marvelous little knife that I received, my first JONAS IGLESIAS knife, the Volt. The first JONAS that I have, and actually, and I'm quite happy about that, actually the first video showcased and presented on YouTube about JONAS knife. So you see, it's a premiere for me and even for you guys, because you may have seen those knives. Of course you have, for those of you who follow my channel and who are custom collectors, you probably know some things about JONAS, but you haven't seen any video on YouTube about his work. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, he's a quite young maker, chronologically young. He's been making knives for 2.5 years. But what I have in hand is the work of someone that not only is making knife for a long time, it looks like he's making knife for a long time. Not only that, but you can make a lot of things for a long time and not be gifted or have any talent in it. So this is the work that looks like someone that has made knives forever, and he's gifted. Not only for a long time, but with a lot of talent. I hope that this light, it's good to be on a broad daylight, but I don't know if I'm not too exposed. Let's try to find some shadow here. It might be too sunny for that video to be presentable to you, my friends. So I think it's going to be better here. So yeah, like I said, not only it looks like the knife has been made by a guy that makes that forever, but a gifted knife maker. And that we're going to review, of course. So JONAS, he's making that for 2.5 years, and he's using like the vintage way to make knives. No CNC, nothing, just bandsaw, just small milling machine, and that's it. A lot of work. I mean, everything is done by hand. That's a pure 100% custom knife, and you're gonna see how beautiful it's done. But you know, from distance, if you just forget about the materials or the fact that it's a fancy one, probably the fanciest he made, from distance, and even if you look at it closely, you see that, you know, it looks like something we like to call, like the perfection in simplicity. That's a simple knife. There's nothing really complicated about that, but the complexity is in all the subtle details that you're gonna have, and of course I'm gonna show them to you. But that's, you know, first impression in hand is that you have here a simple knife, and you have then all and if we are to appreciate it, it's because actually it's perfect, and this is the most difficult thing to do, because you can go crazy, make some crazy grind that looks like, you know, all over the place, make a lot of crazy material, but this is not what will make a great knife. What will make a great knife are things that are, you know, refined, precise. And this is exactly what you have on this knife. And I'm going to show that to you, like a step by step, starting with the handle, then with the blade and everything, okay? I'm going to try to make some sense out of it, because I'm quite emotional since, like I said, that's my first and the first video on YouTube. But I'm going to try to make some sense out of it. So, right out of the bat, JONAS is making, I think, some designs. But that's the first thing I want to talk about. You know, a maker is a good maker if he has several features. I mean, he can be a great artist and not be a good knife maker. I mean, not be a good craftsman. He can be a good craftsman and not have an eye, you know, for art. He can be both and be a bad man. You know, we have seen that all over the place. JONAS has everything. I mean, the guy is gifted from everywhere. First of all, he's a really kind guy. Really, I mean, if you just talk to him just once, you will see how great guy he is. Then he's got a knife for a design. Look at that. I mean, it's a signature design. You see, it's not like your regular draw point or your Tonto or whatever. This is a signature. You see this knife, boom, it comes from JONAS. And speaking about that, you won't see any signature or logo on his knife, because JONAS thinks that his work speaks for itself. He doesn't need to sign it. you know, and I love that actually, especially on the blade. You know me, my friend, I hate that when the blade are spoiled by logos or engraving or stuff like that, especially when it's a pure hand rubbed as this one, as we're gonna see. So not even inside the scale, nowhere. It just gives you like a small card, a certificate of authenticity, and that's it. His work speaks for himself. But he goes further than that. It's because really his design is not comparable to nothing. I mean, when you look at it, you know that it's a knife from Jonas. So no need for signature or you know, showcasing everywhere that Jonas did it. Everyone will know that Jonas did it. And if someone like that is not made by Jonas, it's gonna be a ripoff for sure. So yeah, an excellent eye for design and the craftsmanship. This is what we're going to talk about. But I wanted to discuss first and foremost about that. The guy is a true gifted man. He's going to mean a lot in that community, in that market, in that art market and craft, or whatever, call it whatever you want. In the custom knife world, he will count. He's counting already, but he will count more and more because as I said, it takes a lot to impress me, but this is truly impressive. But now it's over 6 minutes, and we need to discuss about that. You know, I've talked about the design. Also in the design, you have the choice of material. That is something that is important. You know, when you mix material, it's something really important. So you know, sometime you want to go like crazy with Damascus and go full dress, and you're gonna be like all over the place. You're gonna have like, okay, Damascus, then since you started making Damascus, you're gonna want to have like Damascus, like Mokume, like crazy mix of material. But it's really rare to have the most dressy scale you can imagine, so a full Damascus, and then have the simplicity of a nice hand rubbed satin hardware here, backspacer, simple titanium. Simple when I say simple, but look at that. I mean, it's polished, very nicely polished. But how great it is, you know, this mix of Damascus and satin here. It's so neat. How many knives you're gonna see where the maker will decide to go like full dress on the scale and stay simple as that with the rest of the material, with the accents there. It's Damascus and satin everywhere. That's also what I call a great eye for design and a great eye for art, sorry. So yeah, that's something I wanted to mention. Then we need to discuss about the knife itself. Now, you have this scale. So as I said, this is a dressy, this is for me an art piece. But if you want to consider it as an EDC, that's a perfect EDC. Look at that. I mean, the handle is so well made. I mean, it fits perfectly in hand. This ramp, you know, let the thumb lays here. And if you want to have an EDC version, and actually I'm going to ask Jonas probably to make me one for EDC, because that's exactly what you need for an EDC. Not only it's beautiful, but oh man, it's a pure EDC and it's fantastic. One of the reasons why it's really great in hand is also because of the contouring. So you have this big and humongous, I mean, where can I see? See here. This is a humongous billet of Damascus, but it's so well contoured and contoured from everywhere. So laterally here, you can tell how dramatically contoured it is. Look at that. Here and here, you feel the convexity of the contouring here. And again, everything is done by hand. But it's not only contoured laterally, but it's also contoured vertically here. You have also a convexity here. I cannot show it to you, but believe me, if you put it flat like that, you're gonna see the spaces, so it's convex here. A tremendous amount of work here on the contouring. Extraordinary. Check this. I absolutely adore that. I hate when it's a simple, you know, cut, relief cut. I think it's Lee Williams that invented that, and that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So a very neat, and the way he finishes his Damascus, look at this coloring. It's sublime, and believe me, check that. You won't see any micro scratch. So it must have, you know, polish it to the highest grit in order almost to have a mirror polish, of course, in order to get this beautiful, you know, no trace. You know, when you have those Damascus, usually when you look at it closely, you're gonna see some micro scratches or even, you know, some rub like that. This is pure polish. Absolutely fantastic. Now check this clip. Very nicely polished satin hidden hardware. That's the first time he does hidden hardware. I mean, he started doing that like maybe a couple of, I don't know, a month ago. The latest knife that I've seen was with the hardware. So now he does that in a hidden hardware, but that's not really something really difficult. A lot of people do that. So but that's neat. You know, look at that. I mean, the design of the clip is so neat. And again, the way he's finishing it like that, polished, is great. The back spacer also very nicely polished in satin. And it's a floating back spacer, actually. You're going to see it, but it's delicately floating. Look at that. You can tell. You see there. Yeah. You see the standoffs. So it's, yeah, floating, but not obnoxiously floating. It looks like it's covered, but it's slightly floating with a little space there. Then I want to speak about this pivot. This is not your regular pivot. Look at that. This is, I mean, it's a regular pivot, actually. It's a Steve Kelly or AKS, whatever pivot he's using. Look at that. You see inside, first of all, he did some nice milling on the Damascus. Then it's here, not flush, but since it's convex here, also the pivot follows the convexity here of the handle, which is sublime. Then all the lines that you see here, you know, those are milled with his machine and polished. And what can I say, my friend? It's the closest thing to a custom pivot that I know of, because there is such a crazy work on that is just absolutely insane. So for me, that's a pure custom pivot, even though he's buying them from AKS or whatever, or Steve Kelly. But that work here is absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. Satin, following the line like that. It's, oh man, this drives me crazy. Now, 11 minutes. I want to speak about that blade. Check the design of that blade, absolutely fantastic. But something I want to mention is that hand rub. Again, you can go Damascus or whatever, but this is, to me, the most important thing is to go with the, for me, I mean, my most appreciation is with the hand rub, because this is the work of the maker himself. You can tell when the hand rub is done, that's the hand of the maker. It's not the blade that he's going to choose or the material. This is the hand of the maker. And check that. This hand rub, my friend, is Charles Marlowe. David Mosier-like. It's just flawless, 100%. Take it as it is. It's flawless, but not only flawless. Man, usually even David or other guys, they will follow just one line. Here, he follows all the line of all the. I mean, you have 3 parts of the blade here. The 3 part will have a different direction on the line. Look at that. Here, it's gonna follow up a little bit, following the line of the grind. Here, the flat is a little bit down. It will follow the line of the flat, and the swedge is going down, and it follows the line of the swedge. That, my friend, requires a lot of attention, and the lines here don't show anything on both sides, of course. I hope that the video does it justice, because this is something that is really, really, really extraordinary. Just fantastic. And you don't see the junction, you don't see nothing. The grind is perfect. It's a flat on the main bevel, and there is no bump at all. It's that is just mesmerizing. That's it. Extraordinary. I can't think of anyone that would do better than that. It can be matched, but not beaten, for sure. And that is just extraordinary, because I've seen a lot of makers, you know me, and this is something that is unbeaten to date. I haven't seen anything better than that. Just crazy. And if I could stop my video here, and that would be enough, because that is just the most crazy thing. But now we can discuss about, I mean, check that. The view that you have here with the contouring is just fantastic. The tolerances, check the tolerances. I mean, when it's closed here, look at that. Check the tolerance here and here. Crazy. Almost Rexford-like. How can he do that? Look at that, it's almost touching the flat here. It's incredible. We are heading to the 15 minutes. I hate that. The action is sublime. Look at that. It fires like a rocket. And with the double thumb stud, you can do the middle finger, you can do the thumb, whatever. The action is fantastic. Check this engagement. It's rock solid. Check the centering. Boom, spot on. The detent is great. My friend, I don't know what more can I say about that. I mean, this is the video that will be probably one of the most erratic that I've done, but also one of the most passionate, because I'm just discovering that guy. I mean, consider that I didn't know the guy, and I just hit the... I never do auction, but when I saw this one, I said, oh hell, I want to help this guy. I want to have this knife also in hand and experience that, and I couldn't be happier than that. And with that being said, my friend, I will leave it at that. I was extremely happy to do that video, and I definitely hope that you will like it. And I see you very soon for another one. Bye bye, my friends.